Greetings all, it's Max and we're back and I'm trying to work out this lighting thing. I think I sort of have it figured out. I have my tie on, I have a shirt. I don't have my flannel because I'm doing a movie review on Lee Strobel. This is a special request to do The Case for Christ. Now, I originally thought this was a documentary. I'm familiar with Lee Strobel and what he says. This is not a documentary, it's a regular movie. It has a 6 out of 10 on IMDb. It deserves more than that. It's not that bad. When I watch a spiritual movie, I expect spiritual stuff to be in it. Yeah, there's more spiritualism in this than Revelation Road. And my only problem with the movie is that it's Lee Strobel. I've listened to Lee Strobel a lot. That's not the guy. That's not the guy in this movie. If you just say, this is an atheist guy out there somewhere. If you just say it's an atheist guy, yeah, it's good. What bothered me was that it was Lee Strobel. And Lee Strobel talks about his life. This is his life back in the late 70s, early 80s. About him coming to Christ through his wife is the synopsis of the entire thing. He's an atheist reporter. It's his job, that's what he does. And he's trying to disprove that Christ was the Messiah, that he didn't die on the cross, whatever. That's what he's trying to prove. And he made a whole bunch of mistakes in there, but the movie did not even touch on the stuff that Lee Strobel in person says. Lee Strobel goes on and does, it's on my channel even, talks about his case for Christ and how he came to it and the kind of person that he was and how he despised God for various different reasons. And of course he came to Christ because, of his wife, and he was researching it, and that's kind of how I came to Christ too, is by scientific research and, what do you call that? You're eliminating bad options and stuff like that. It's like, well, it can't be that because that's stupid, and it can't be this, and it can't be this. You eliminate certain things and you're left with Christ. That's how Lee Strobel came to Christ. That's kind of the way that I did. So I really get him. In this movie, I'll talk about the movie overall, is basically how he came to Christ. Just watch the guy. Just YouTube Lee Strobel. The movie, it doesn't deserve a 6 out of 10. No, it's like probably a 7.5. Easy. All the acting is great. Everybody in their acting is great. The story isn't very accurate, I don't think. That's my main complaint with it, because Lee Strobel talks about, when I watched his stuff, he talks about what he was doing when he was unsaved. He talks all about it. How he ignored his wife and was out until 3 o'clock at the bars every single night with the people that he was writing with and stuff like that, and that was just what you did. That's what you did back in those days. He's talking about ignoring his kids. He's talking about all the bad stuff he does. None of that is in the movie. In the movie, Lee Strobel is basically a bland atheist guy who is perfect in every way, for the most part, who decides to believe in Christ. And there's some Catholicism stuff in there that I didn't appreciate. But there's some other, the biggest issue that I have with the entire program is it goes through how he was converted, but it never once even mentions the gospel. Not even once. Like, Jesus died for your sins. It goes over how Jesus died, Jesus died, Jesus died, and he was probably resurrected. I don't know, we'll have to check the scholars on that one. We'll have to see if the guy was resurrected. The point is why did he die? That's the point. And Lee Strobel, personally, he knows that. Okay? He knows it. He's saved. But in this movie, they do not bring it up, and I did not like it for that fact. I understand the reason they didn't go into a lot of that stuff is because this movie is on Netflix. I'll have to look up, I'll go into the cast and everything else here. The Case for Christ is on Netflix. Anyone can watch it. I really only want to do Pure Flix things, but it was a special request, and I checked it out. It came out in 2017. It's not horrible. Some people are going to be bored by it. But I was ticked that there was no gospel message in there. That's what really ticked me off. If you're taking a guy who is an atheist and bringing him into Christianity, who goes on to be, he wrote like 20 books, 20 or 30 books on Christianity, and you don't have a gospel message somewhere in that movie, there's a problem there. That ticked me off. Again, now I'm going to go through the basics of the movie and what I think about a movie as a general thing. As far as Christianity, I covered it. Lee Strobel is a jerk. Okay, I like Lee Strobel. He's a jerk like me. The guy in there in the script that they wrote for him is not Lee Strobel. If you pretend he's just some random dude and you don't say he's Lee, it's a great movie. 8 out of 10 probably. And it's not the kind of movie that, you know, a lot of people are going to like. But when you say it's actually Lee Strobel, I'm like, no, that's not him. That's not him. And it's not because of the acting. The acting was fantastic. And it's funny, I have the IMDb up here. And the guy who actually plays Lee Strobel isn't even the #1 billed actor. It's somebody else. I'm like, why are you punking that guy? He's the star. I mean, Hollywood for you, I guess. So here we go. Movie was directed by John Gunn. Never heard of the guy. But we go down, #1 billed, Erika Christensen, who plays his wife. Erika Christensen is a girl who played in Parenthood. And I was like, oh, I saw her and I'm like, oh, it's going to be a Lifetime movie. Can't believe this. Sucks. But she was really good. I'm not going to diss her. She did a really good job. Every single scene she did was really good. So, we also have Faye Dunaway, who's second billed. She plays a bit part, but it's Faye Dunaway, man. Faye Dunaway. Alright. Frankie Faison, Joe Dubois is basically the boss for Lee Strobel. It's the boss. He did okay. It was fine. It was okay. I really want to call out this guy though. Mike Vogel. Mike Vogel is the guy who played Lee Strobel. Mike Vogel is a great actor. I mean, he plays in television series, he plays in nothing that I care about, honestly. But I want to see this guy act. I mean, if they would have put him in Han Solo as Han Solo, totally would watch it. If they would put him in some really big budget things, yeah, I'd watch it. Acting is top notch. It was great. The movie as a whole, very slow. And I didn't appreciate that there is no gospel in it. An atheist turns to Christ, okay, but there's no gospel in it. I didn't like that. I've listened to Strobel talk, and he talks like me, where he's not going to pull any punches. And the guy's kind of a jerk. But the movie makes it out like he is some sort of soft hands, LGBTQ millennial guy. That's not who the guy is. That's absolutely not who the guy is. That was upsetting. Giving it, what does IMDb say here? They give it a 6.1 out of 10. No. I'm going to go with a 7. For the acting. I mean, the acting was good. The story was kind of crap. The acting was good. Music score was a music score. It worked. All of the actors did a fantastic job. I really appreciate their work. I really like it. You see, there are things that make me happy and things that tick me off when it comes to watching movies. A 6 out of 10. Excuse me. That's pretty harsh. That's pretty harsh. It wasn't a fantastic movie. And I think if it wasn't a Lee Strobel story and they made it just some random guy, because Lee Strobel is a pretty prominent guy out there, you can't mess around with what his actual history is, because the guy's up there speaking about his history. And the guy is out there speaking, and you can tell his personality. And if you're not going to do that, you can do A Case for Christ, and then you can have Robert Johnson, some random person up there doing the acting. Just don't call it Lee Strobel, because right as soon as I saw that, I'm like, this isn't Lee Strobel. Lee Strobel would never do that. Now you get to hear me clear my throat and you know, whatever. I put on a tie for you guys, so that's how it goes. The Case for Christ. What do I think about it? Now this is a personal request, so this is going to go up on my main channel. My movie reviews typically are going to go up on my Patreon. It's just how it is, because I'm doing Pure Flicks right now. So, my overall on this. Seven out of 10 because of the acting. The story was crap. They pretended like this was Strobel's backstory, and some of it may be true, some of it might not be true. But Lee Strobel tells it himself as to what his backstory is. So I already know it. Before going into the movie, I know Lee Strobel's backstory. I know. And they're trying to make Argo out of this. People who have never seen Argo, I guess you'd never know. But they're trying to make an Argo movie out of this. It's not Argo. We're not rewriting history. The guy's still alive. Do I recommend watching it? If you like really slow-paced movies, watching it with people who don't believe is maybe a good thing. But accurate to the real life guy? No, it's not accurate to the real life guy. But the actors are good. And I really hope that the guy who plays Lee Strobel, what's his name here? Mike Vogel. I really hope he is in some other movies because he does a really great job. A really great job. It was good all around as far as acting goes. The story was just a little messed up, and it's like, I guess if nobody knew anything about Lee Strobel, they probably might like it. Obviously a lot of people didn't. Got a 6 out of 10 on IMDb. I'll give it a 7 out of 10 because the acting was great. And that's how it is. And that's how it is. And thank you for watching. And, you know, if you have suggestions, I might check them out. I may or may not. I did this one because somebody said I should check it out. So I might not. It's my life and I do what I want. So there you have it. Be gone for a couple of days. We're going to go up on Patreon and do my review. I think I have Revelation Road up there, and I am also going to review the heck's the name of it? I can't remember. I can't remember what it was. And then also doing, everybody's been asking about my guitars. So yes, I'm going to do a video on guitars. It's going to be on Patreon. There it is. With that, be out of here.